Welcome to my Humvee addiction. So, we're working on the brakes today, and I got the rotor removed, caliper removed, took the rotor off, new rotor put on, and 3 of the new bolts are on. I did got a hardware pack with new lock washers, because these, I believe, are one-time use lock washers. They are a kind of a staggered design, sawtooth type lock washer. I forget what they're called. I think they're German. Anyway, old pads, as you can see, they're pretty much not much. The other side wasn't too bad, which I haven't worked on that yet. That's for the bad caliper that I messed up. Here's the part number for the pads, Willwood. Obviously I bought everything. I'm a parts guy. Pretty good. So as you can see, anyway, I'm trying to do this while I'm able to see. Yeah, so there's your pads. I think that one was a little newer, I can't tell. Yeah, this one was worse. So there's your pads. So they needed to be done. And imagine a winch in front of this. It's just going to be impossible to work on. So radiator hose is getting done. Obviously I'm waiting for the hardware of this bushing. I bought this bushing like a year ago. So I put a little red Loctite. These are 5/8 bolts. One on the top, one on the bottom for the caliper. That's got to come off to get the rotor off. Not off, but it's got to be loose so you can get it away, because the rotor is kind of on the hub there of the front differential. So I have 3 of the half shaft bolts in, so I'll do the others. And like I said, this is all new hardware. There's the part number, and there's for the outer of the half shaft, new. I'll probably put Loctite on that. The bolts holding the caliper on, I put red Loctite on those. It looked like there was some on there, I don't know. I torqued them to a couple grunts. They seem pretty good. So yeah, I'm so glad I did this before the winch, because this would have never ever worked out. So I have 1 bolt per corner. So I have 1 bolt in there. These things, believe it or not, are 15mm. So, and you need you can't get a ratcheting wrench in there. You can probably get away with a shallow universal socket. I don't know. I think you have to torque them with a crow's foot, but again, I just grunt them. This side was all tight. The other side, I didn't put the video out yet, but the other side where I need to change the caliper is absolutely, I hope you're not getting the back of my head. The other side is absolutely loose, missing washers. I'm so glad I did this. Screwing up that caliper was like a blessing in disguise. Because, what do you call it? I'm so glad, because this side needed brakes, the other side looked good. And if that winch was put on, this would have never worked out. So anyway, I got parts coming. I know I haven't been doing videos. This is kind of running slow. This and that. So it's coming. It's coming along. So yeah, we'll get this on there, torqued on, and then we'll come back and do the Maybe we'll slide the pads on, show you that. And obviously the bolt still has to go on the half shaft in the hub where it splines into the upper gear. That's the other piece of hardware that was in that bag in the kit. Still have to service the differential. I'll have to do the fluid in that and see what comes out of that. So far everything's been pretty good. I gotta get a screwdriver when I torque these things down because that side's removed, so it's not holding the drivetrain isn't holding it in. So anyway, either way, I hope the hell you're not getting the back of my head, and I hope this light isn't freaking out the camera. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And these rotors will get brake cleaned. I brake cleaned them when I took them out of the package. And I got my dirty mitts all over them. It is what it is. First time you put the brakes on this thing, it's gonna friggin' burn all that off anyway, but I'll still brake clean them. Don't worry about all that. These are 15mm, which is odd. It's the only time you see metric hardware in these trucks is the friggin' brakes. It's weird. So, anyway, you're staring at me doing one stupid nut. But anyway, so yeah, I got a couple more items to order. There's a bracket under the hood that's missing. I got on the X doors, I have one hinge that's broken. And I didn't order the washers for all the truck hinge side for that hardware, so I got part numbers. And anyway, the part numbers are doing, so I got to email the guy, Hummer Parts guy. I forget his name. Very helpful. Ordered the turret cover and all that from him. Anyway, let me pause this and get these torqued down. Anyway, now I torqued all the bolts, the 6 bolts that hold the half shaft onto the differential. So now these pads, it's almost like a cartridge. You just drop them in. There was no anti-chatter compounds or anything on these. Listen, it's a Humvee. If it squeaks, then I take them out and redo them. I'm not worried about that. So I got hardware for both sides. So try to get my mid out of the way so you can see. And this pin just comes through to the side, picks up the pads, goes through. Obviously this kit has both sides. And then it goes in that hole, which you probably got nothing but shadow, and hopefully you're not getting goofed around by the frequency of the light. My mitts, I'm sorry. Come on. It's a Jesus clip. There we go. And that. Basically, that's how she goes. Now, we'll probably work on that side. And the hardware for that is similar. And it's a 3/8 line wrench. So I don't know if I have that. I think all I have is metric. So Anyway, I'm going to start working on that. The half shaft's been dropped. All that hardware was loose. I think the video isn't out yet, so that was, yeah, definitely check your hardware. And to those of you that don't understand how Humvee works or don't know, this is the front of the truck. Obviously, the winch is going to go there. So getting to these parts would have just been an absolute pain because you have almost no room to work. You can get in from underneath. Get ready for a ride. You can get in from underneath, but the caliper hardware would just be an absolute pain in the butt to get to. So, like I said, this hose and clamps are all, I believe the clamps, I think I'm going to change them, I don't know. I changed them on the other truck, the 1131. Sorry, the 1123. But this one I think is a little newer. So those of you that don't understand how the drivetrain in a Humvee works, this is kind of a good cross-section view. So you come off the differential, which anyway, the light isn't lighting up too well. So you come off the differential there behind the horn. There's the plug. Anyway, it's basically an aluminum Dana 60. And you got your brakes. You got the half shaft bolts on. Bad view. Anyway. So your half shaft bolts on. With 6 bolts. And this is the cool thing about it. The center line of your tire. Oh yeah, it's totally the frequency. Anyway, at least I can see it on the viewfinder. So, you got a geared hub. So, here's the center line of the tire. And I believe I mentioned in another video, this is where the CTIS would enter on a civilian Hummer. And it goes through the center to, well, you can't see the plug, but there's another plug out here. So, you have a gear. If I remove this, you might be able to see it's a helical, big old helical gear set. I may reseal the other side, I believe it was leaking. So this is a big old helical gear set. Oh man, that's messing up with the, anyway. There's some big old honking gears in there. So you can kind of see them turning. So basically it gives you a 2-to-1 gear ratio on that. So what you got to do though is take this off, which I didn't do yet, and you got to check this nut, because otherwise this thing will go bye-bye and your tire will be meeting you down the road. So that's the only thing that holds the front end of this truck on, or any tire, all 4 corners. So it's unique design, but it requires a lot of looking after and maintenance. Every 5,000 to 10,000 miles. Basically, I do it every oil change. I do it on the 1123. This, I believe, has a different type of nut. I don't know if this is going to be needing looking after, but I'm looking at it anyway to make sure they did it right, because that side over there was all loose, and anyway, something happened over there. I don't know, but obviously filled June. When's that, 2nd or 3rd? Anyway, you don't know when. So, it's one cool thing. So anyway, and these are the wrong washers. This copper thing. Anyway, I got them coming. They're on the next batch of orders. Hardware orders, and the correct seal for that. And this one is the correct seal, but I'm getting a new one. It's like a plastic washer. And that is where that other nut will go and secure the spline shaft for that. So anyway, I will see if I can break that nut loose if I have a 3/8. If I have a 3/8, if not, we'll be doing another video. Anyway, this is long enough. Appreciate all the new subscribers. I'm close to 100. I don't know if I'm 100 yet, but anyway, I appreciate you watching. And yeah, so 1/4 of the new brakes are done. So we will catch you later when we work on over there. Alrighty, bye.